Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kennedy and Hope's Coffee Talk. Happy Monday. We hope everyone is having great and safe morning. Hope, it's here. Perfect timing often defines hip-hop's greatest albums, but what happens when two legends reunite 30 years after revolutionizing the genre? Nas and DJ Premier's new album, Light Years, isn't just a collaboration, it's a statement about legacy in an age of algorithms.
That's such an interesting point about timing. I mean, here we are in 2025, and suddenly this partnership that helped define 90s hip-hop feels more relevant than ever.
Well, what's fascinating is how Nas has completely flipped the script on his career narrative. After 6 albums with Hit Boy and his first Grammy win, he's not chasing relevance anymore. He's defining what relevance means on his own terms.
Kennedy, you know what really strikes me about this project? The way Premier's production style deliberately preserves that raw 90s energy. Those straight-up loops and dusty samples feel almost defiant in today's overproduced landscape.
Exactly, Hope. And it's interesting how they're using that approach to create what feels like a time capsule of New York hip-hop. Take Writers, for example, the way Nas paints these vivid pictures of graffiti artists and underground culture while Premier's jazz-inflected beat moves like a subway car cutting through darkness. It's technically nostalgic but emotionally immediate.
So what do you make of the way they're handling all these classic hip-hop references? I mean, Premier's weaving in everything from Marley Marl to the Beastie Boys. And
Hope, that's where things get really interesting because they're not just dropping references for the sake of it. Like on Pause Tapes, Premier's sampling choices tell their own story about hip-hop's evolution. And when AZ shows up on My Story, Your Story, it feels less like a reunion and more like a continuation of a conversation that never really ended.
But doesn't that raise questions about whether they're pushing the culture forward or just preserving it?
Well, that tension is actually what makes the album so compelling. Take Get Ready. You've got Nas talking about crypto wealth in the same breath as memories about dreaming of affording Moa. He's literally bridging different eras of hip-hop capitalism in real time.
So true, Kennedy. And that hits even harder when you consider his role in changing the very New York he's describing, like those casino development projects in Queens he's involved with.
Right. And that's what makes New York State of Mind Part 3 such a complex piece. It's not just updating the original, it's wrestling with how the city's changed and his role in those changes. You can hear him grappling with the disappearance of nightlife landmarks and the sanitization of neighborhoods he once chronicled.
That reminds me of how Third Childhood positions rap veterans as the equivalent of legacy rock bands. It's like they're arguing that hip-hop doesn't age, it accumulates.
You know what's really fascinating about that track? It's how it connects to the larger conversation about cultural memory in hip-hop. Like, we're approaching the culture's 50th anniversary, and suddenly these questions about preservation versus progression feel more urgent than ever.
The fan response seems to validate that too. The album's getting really strong reviews, with people connecting deeply to this return to fundamentals.
And here's what's key about those reviews. They're not just praising the nostalgia factor. They're responding to how the album demonstrates that longevity in hip-hop doesn't have to mean chasing trends. Sometimes it means being secure enough in your identity to just be who you are.
That makes me think about how different this is from Nas's earlier attempts to stay relevant. Like that 2018 Kanye-produced album Nasir, that felt more forced than focused.
Exactly, and what's beautiful about Light Years is how it shows that evolution doesn't always mean radical change. Sometimes it means going deeper into who you already are, understanding your own voice better, and using that understanding to say something meaningful about where we've been and where we're going.
So in the end, would you say this album is more about preservation or progression?
Well, I think it's actually transcending that binary. Light Years isn't just preserving a moment in time. It's showing how tradition can remain vital and relevant even as the world changes around it. In an era where algorithms shape our musical landscape and genre boundaries are dissolving, sometimes looking back with clear eyes is the most progressive thing you can do.